All right, so hi everybody. Today we are going to go over tenant reports. This is a really great program. Um, uh, if you have tenants who are going to rent and you need to get more information on them, you need them to fill out an application, you need to find out some of their background. This program will give you a review of your applicant's credit summary. It's got a dashboard. It'll just put everything right there, one page, and shows you a general overview. It also will show you payment trends in that it will show you what payments they have, what accounts they have open, and whether they have any late fees. If they're past due for 30 days, it'll pop up there so you'll know. It also does a public record search. It will show if your tenants have any bankruptcies in the past 7 to 10 years. It'll also show if they have any evictions or judgments against them. It isn't on, it doesn't show absolutely everything, but it's a good tool so that you can see who you're working with. And it'll also go through and validate different information and whether or not the tenants put in their correct name, correct address, correct social security number, stuff like that. So it's very good. And then it'll also give you an overview of whether they have any collections in progress or any charge-offs.
Yeah.
So it give you a good idea if these tenants are going to be, give a good overview of their payment history and everything else. So it is, let's just go to the next page. So it is a charge that the tenants have to pay for, and it depends whether you are in Florida or New England. It can be either in New England, it's $50 per tenant. In Florida, it's $75 because the processes are slightly different. But everything can be accessed from the LAER website. What you would do is you have your tenants go to laerrealty.com right up here and hold their mouse over buyer seller library, and then down at the bottom you'll see where is tenant credit report for Florida or New England. So what we're going to do right now though is switch to a live version. Hang on. Oh, how do I do that? Hang on. There we go. So here is the LAER website. And as you see, it's right here. It says buyer seller library. And you come down and you would start filling out the report this way. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click here. And I've not been into the Florida one before. So it will not remember me. What I did find out is the other day when I was doing this, I went into the New England one just to kind of go through it. And then when I backed out and went back in again, it remembered that I had started the application because it remembered my email. So today for today's class, we're going to go into the Florida one. And so basically it's going to tell you upfront for Florida, it's non-refundable application fee of $75 per person. And it's payable at the end of the application with any major credit card. And it just kind of explains right up here. It says, as part of your application, we're going to fill this out. It takes about 15 minutes to do it. An associate may contact you for additional information during the verification process and everything else. So what we're going to do then is we're going to enter an email. So I'm going to use my personal email here, right? And I'm going to click on continue. And now it's going to say, it's going to walk you through this process, and a tenant will just fill out the blank. So what we are going to do is we're going to fill this out the best that we can, right? And so printed name would be Len Lochrie. That's how I would sign everything. Initials would be L. And then I'm going to put this last 4 digits social security number. And then you would say, let's continue. and it's going to say, okay, everything you sign is going to be like this, or you can customize it, and you're going to confirm that, or the tenant is actually going to confirm that um, um, that's going to be their signature. Next part is disclosures. So this is all for the tenants who will need to read through it. So, and this one says that LAER Realty Partners Bowen may obtain information about you from a consumer reporting agency for tenant screening purposes. It goes on to say that the report may contain information regarding your criminal history. It tells the tenant exactly what they are going to do and what LAER is going to do. So, and it also goes on to say, as required by law, it says, is that tenant reports, it's here. Here's the phone number if you have questions. And then additional, if you're in Massachusetts, you have the right to inspect and promptly receive a copy of any investigative consumer report requested by the company. And then next is the acknowledgement. You acknowledge the receipt of disclosures regarding the background investigation and a summary of your rights under the Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA. Remember, that's important. And if you're in California, you have to check the box. But anyway, so it gives you all the information is to the tenant, to the consumer, that they have different rights. So, and so basically, it's when they sign here, they're saying, I'm authorizing Tenant Reports to conduct a background check as described above. They're also consenting to use electronic means to sign the form. And they also acknowledge that they may request a hard copy from Tenant Reports, right? Which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here and sign, and we'll go to the next page. Next is a summary of your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So this is important. Tenants really should read this. Us agents should read this too. So just gives you everything down here, more information, and you certify that you have read and understand your rights. You click next. Now it's going to ask for the desired property information. And so we're just going to put in, let's figure out an address. Oh, I know. Let's see. Let's say we're going to rent, I want to put in the Wellington office address and pretend like that's an apartment there. How's that? So 12769 Forest Boulevard. Boom. Wellington, Wellington, Florida. And a rent amount, let's say, is going to be 3,000. Unit number, let's say it's unit 1A. And move-in date, let's say we want to move in for April 1st. And let's say we want a 12-month lease. And now we're going to click and say, who is the agent? And what you can do is start typing in the agent. So let me see if my name pops up as an agent. Let's see here. Nope, it's not a drop-down list, so I'm just putting in different names and it's not a drop-down list. So let's say it is going to be Len D. Realtor. And it should have had a drop-down list, which is interesting, but anyways, let's go to the next one. Check the page for errors. Okay. Oh, must be in the future. I misspelled that 2025. There we go. Next page. So now I'm going to choose who my agent's going to be. And this is going to be a list of all the Florida agents who are currently signed up on this. If you want to check for yourself, go on and see if your name is there. If not, email us at Happy Agent and we will add you on. No problem. So let me just see who we do have here. I have no idea who to pick. I'm gonna pick all right. I'm gonna go ahead and select John Sylvan. And so we'll go from here. So anyway, so now it's going to ask for my personal information, right? And don't know if I've been this far before, but I'm going to put in Len Lochrie, former name, no former name, 978-8008-4307. Just in case this happens to go to John Sylvan, just because going to ask for a driver's license, everything else. Let's see what the next page is. And it's going to come here. Oh, I have to fill in the driver's license number. So who knows what it is. There we go. And now it's going to ask my current address, previous address, but it's just going to go through and ask these questions, right? Now I'm not going to go too far because I don't want to do an actual application and actually pay the fee and everything. So after it asks for the address, next is going to be a page that's going to ask about uh, income, and it's going to ask about employment. It gives them the option to put that information in if they want. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. And I'm going to pretend like I am renting out the Chelmsford office. How's that? Also paying $3,000 a month. Moving. I am moving because of the weather. Everybody moves to Florida because of the weather. Move-in date. Current address. When did I move in here? Hey, let's say 0414 2014. There we go. Landlord is going to be Stacy Horn and boom. Boom. Oh, do not connect. There we go. And now I'm going to go here and current employer. That we don't want to keep that. So next going to ask me about my current employer, previous employer, other sources of income. And as the tenant goes through, they're filling out this application. And when they are done, you will be able to see this application. And at the very end, they're going to ask for a credit card. So, all right. So we've gone as far as we can on this for the moment. But I just wanted you guys to see what the tenant is going through, the information they are filling out. There's other places where they have the opportunity to put in other information. Some of it is required, but not everything is required. You can see with the stars here. If you click self-employed, a lot of it turns around. So, or part-time. Well, anyways, and if you have more than one job, you can add more than one employer. So, all right, let's go back to, here we go, Canva to my presentation, and let's go back here to present and present. Let's go to the next page. And there's a reminder for me to switch to live. So now, next, once a tenant has filled everything in, you can go to this website, https://tenantreports.quickleasepro.com/login. And it's going to bring you to this page in which you're going to use most likely your LAER email or whatever email that you have been set up on for this. All right, so now we are going to figure out how to get, nope, let's go back. How do I get back out of here? There we go. Let's go, here it is. Here's the login right here. And here is the page you want to go to, right there. I'm going to log in. I'm going to log in as myself, and I'm going to log in this way. There is always going to, once you set up the account the first time, they're going to have you change your password, but they're also going to have security questions. So, such questions as this. Now let's just do this. There we go. And it doesn't say log in, it says register, which is interesting. But so don't panic. Even if you already have an account, you've already signed in 10,000 times, click register. So what I'm going to show you is the admin view of this. You yourself, you would only have pending applications and you would only see your own applications. So as you can see, there's quite a few here, right? So a lot of people have already filled this out. Anything that's in green means that it's complete. So you could, if this was you, was assigned to you, you could click on this person's name and it would open up the whole report. I'm not going to do that. Well, actually, I am going to do that because, hang on, it's going to tell you about this person, so don't look at any of that information. But you come down here and you can click here and you can view the report. And you can see that this person also uploaded the driver's license, pay stubs, and other things. And photos of the pets as was required for this particular application. So let's go back out here and back out here. So on that page, anything that was grayed out was incomplete. Anything that was green was complete. And what you do is you click on the person's name and then you click on view application and it shows you everything. So we're going to go back here. So I just showed you how to find the report. And then let's go back here and present again. And so now when you've done a report and you open it up, this is what the front page of that report's going to look like. And it depends on who the applicant is. It could be anywhere from 4 to 12 pages long. But the very first part of it is going to be the application information. It's going to tell you who the person is, their phone number, their social security number, date of birth, driver's license, and that information is going to be right here at the top. And this is the sample that Tenant Reports provide. So I'm going to show you the sample. So up here, the very first part, number 1 part, is going to be the applicant, their social security number, date of birth, their current address. If they put a driver's license in, the driver's license number. The second part is, and it actually doesn't stand out, so you do have to look carefully and remember that the second part is actually the credit score and where it's from. So in this case, the sample has a credit score of 734. If you go back a page, you can see this person did not have a credit score. And they had no credit whatsoever, so they had no score. But let's go back here. And then, so that was the number 1 part was, the number 1 part was the applicant information. So now here is a real credit score. All the identifying information has been blacked out, so there's no names, no security numbers, no phone numbers or anything on this. But it shows you that this particular person had a credit score of 638, and then next was their name, and then next was their social security number, and then was their financial summary. And this is a quick, easy thing just to look at, just to see how this person stands. And it's showing that, this person has 14 revolving accounts, 3 installment accounts. And so their payments are about $997, the balance is 35. And so it shows that they're using 51% of their credit. And that's going to affect their credit score, of course. But over here is the proposed rent was $2,500. They stated their monthly income was $5,720. So income to rent ratio is 2.9 to 1. Income to debt ratio is 5.4. This is all information. It's all information to roll in to be for consideration, for factors to consider. So the snapshot just provides an overview of balances, utilization, income ratios, and apparently any derogatory information being reported. I didn't see any on anybody I looked at. So All right, so the next part of the report is going to be the confirmation, comparisons and confirmation information. So basically it's going to compare what it has on file with the credit bureau. It's going to compare the name, it's going to compare their address, and it's going to compare their employment if it's been registered with the credit bureau. So it's and for the name part, it's also going to show the aliases. So some people have maiden names, some people have had credit before with their middle initial. I myself, my given name is Leonard, but I always go by Len. So on mine, it would show Len and Leonard, and sometimes my middle initial, that type of thing. And then if you have somebody who's moved around a lot, I certainly did back in my college days, um, you would have multiple addresses there. So, all right. So that's the next the next section is the credit history part. Now, I think this part is really interesting because it really does show you, and I've looked at some of these where there's been like several pages of these, but basically it's a detailed account information, including balances, payment terms, late payment dates, collections, account statuses, whether they're open or they're closed, whatever. So like this particular person has looks like they have a Toyota car. They have a car payment. It shows that it was for 48 months, starting in 2020. Um, and don't know what that means, but look at this late dates. 9/24/30, that means it was 30 days late on 9/24. On 6/24, it's 30 days late. On 1/24, 30 days late. So it's showing you this person has had 30-day late um, payments on their auto. Next down here, Bank of America. This is probably a credit card. If you take a look here, REV means revolving, and you can see they've had late payments and it was closed by the grantor, which means Bank of America credit card closed the account. And you can go down and you can see um, no issues with the Capital One. They've been really good with that one. And then like this one has been closed. So this is all good information. You may have tenants who have no information on this at all, and you may have tenants who have no derogatory information at all. So, but this is all different factors that are rolled in for you to take a look at and use for the landlord to use for judgment and everything. So, all right. So the next part is public records. It's going to show if there are any judgments or bankruptcies, as well as tax liens. And then, and let me see here. There is one spot, and is it this spot here? Somewhere around here, I think it was on public records, it would show if there were any judgments against a person or any evictions. I did see one that had somebody who had had a previous eviction and it showed up here. It showed the date and I think it showed the town it was in too. So next is prior inquiries. This just shows that this person had three inquiries in the last year, so that's fine. They're not going out trying to get all these different credit cards and everything. So repository remarks are notes from the Bureau of any discrepancies between what was submitted and what's on file. And then submission results is the applicant TransUnion, and they just showing us that yes, there was a record found. So, all right. So the next is the pass-fail scorecard. This this program will do this for you, which is pretty interesting. And it just kind of puts everything together so you can take a look at it. And so it's showing income to rent at 2.29 to 1, which is kind of low, you want something above 3, actually. So it's just going to say, because there's one fail, everything's going to fail. But this is just information for you and the landlord to review and use. So let's see here. I think that was the last one I had for this. So this is a really great program. And this is the first time I've done this one. So next time around, I think we'll have more information. But this is a great program to use for your tenants. It gives you everything right there that you can just go through and look at. Um, uh, and know, whether or not the information their tenants are giving you is accurate. And, whether or not they're probably going to be able to pay rent or not. So all of this is great information to have. And I mean, and one of the most important things I think, of course, is the credit score, right? So, and that's right here, right? So, like this person, the one we just pulled up now, has no credit score whatsoever, so that's fine. Anyway, so that's the whole process. A couple of other things is if you are part of Beach's MLS or a Florida Realtor, or if you are part of the Maine MLS and a Maine Realtor, both your Realtor boards include for free at no charge a program called Forewarn, and it's an app that goes on your phone. Um, and you can plug in somebody's phone number and you will get a quick report. You will see a name, who the phone number belongs to, any aliases associated with it. And you can also see any addresses belonging to that person. So it's a really good search function. But if you're in Florida or Maine, it's included with your MLS. So it's something to keep in mind too. All right, so this did not take as long as I thought. I thought I would be talking longer, but no problem. Does anybody have any questions? And does everything make sense? Hi, John. Hi, Lita. Hi, Victor. How are you guys? If you have any questions, let me know. If not, we'll call it a day. I hope everything made sense. Just to review, here's where you would send your buyers, your tenants, I mean. You go send them to LAERrealty.com, hold your mouse over buyer seller library, and come down here to where it says New England or Florida. And I believe as soon as I put my email in here, it's going to find the previous one that I had already done. So, oh, okay, good. A couple of questions here. Yes, you will be able to watch this afterwards. Yes, it will be on Facebook on Roar. Hang on, let's just do this real quick and I can show you here. It will be on Roar, Online Agent Resources. It's actually being streamed live right now as we talk. But later this afternoon, you'll be able to come back here and see it. And you'll also be able to see it on oops. You'll be able to see it on YouTube. Any other questions? Just email us if you need anything. Just email us at happyagent@laerrealty.com. And thank you guys. Have a great afternoon.